Okay, well, I think that takes care of this wing, other than to put a couple of temporary covers, one over the gas tank filler and one over the fuel sender. I haven't made up either of those yet. Why, other than that, this wing is ready to go back on the plane. So that's what I'm going to do today, is stick it back on the plane and then turn the plane around and see if we can't get the other one installed there. So we're a little bit sketchy with our setup here, so we'll see if we can't get this back down without crashing anything. Okay, so there we are. We got fuel tank installed. We have wiring run from the ground from our tank and for our fuel sender here. We've got pitot-static run down here. We have a inspection port down at the bottom so that I can access the fittings for the tank. And get to that fuel fitting, and we're ready to go. We installed an inspection cover here with nut plates, and since this post sits up just a little bit, rather than fight that, I will shorten it up a little bit. Maybe I can take almost 1/4 of an inch off of the nut to engage it, or still have the nut fully engage. I may shorten that up a little bit, but I think I'll probably just build a carbon fiber bubble to go on top, just enough to clear that, so that we can put insulation on top, you know, a isolator for that, so we don't ground it out by mistake. but we'll just put a small bubble there, and we'll do that for both tanks. I built standard aluminum covers to go on there, but I'd have to dome them to clear that anyway. So we'll do that. I haven't built my filler caps for in here yet. They're going to be a Bearhawk style filler like Bob Barrow shows in his plans for the Bearhawk. And we'll be able to run our wiring down through the PEX tubing in the front. So this wing's ready to go back on. It's all set up, and I may show a little bit of that, but we'll probably just go ahead and mount that wing. Okay guys, quick little update. I'm just kind of starting the day working on the airplane here. I've already finished a couple of the projects, but I'm going to be working on the plane. I'm going to try and get the other wing mounted back on. I got a couple of things I want to do first before I put it on there. But I wanted to give you a quick little update. I got the nylon inserted bearings for the slotless flaperon controls. If you watched last couple of videos, I've mentioned those, showing them and stuff. I've got ones on there with iron inserts instead of the nylon inserts inside. I ordered nylon inserts, or bearings with the nylon inserts, because I think the nylon would be better. You don't have to worry about them rusting, all that stuff. They were back ordered, so I've been waiting for them, and they raised the price along the ways, and not a big deal. I mean, these are still dirt cheap, but I wanted to give you a quick update. I'm going to use the ones with the iron inserts and just grease them up when I do final assembly, and I'm going to go with those. I got the ones with the nylon inserts here a couple of days ago, and I'm going to consider them to be unusable. I finally got one of them broke free. I got the insert out of it, and if we can look, when they manufactured these, I don't know how well this is going to show up, they've shaved this nylon where they crimp them, and what they do is they put them in, and then they go in and they do little crimps to hold the inserts in place. On the iron ones that I've got, they're just fine. There's no problem. They work fairly smooth and everything. I thought the nylons would be a little bit better, but when they crimp those, they just chewed the nylons up. When I first got them, the first one I opened up was seized just tight as can be. I couldn't even rotate the nylon insert. This is the other one. It's still seized up. And if you look, and there again, I don't know how well it's going to show, but you can see the nylon is just curled back up there where it shaved it off. This one is, like I say, this one's seized up. I ended up and put a 5/8 rod through it, or 3/4, whatever the inside diameter of these are, and then put a pair of pliers on the outside and started working it, and finally got this one popped out. They would probably be fine. It's not that big a deal, I don't think, but where it shaved that in manufacturing, it's going to continue just to shave off that, so I think you're going to get a little more excessive wear there. So I do like the bearings with the inserts. I like the idea. I like that they're so inexpensive, especially on a little light plane like this, but these are, the way they're manufactured, it's just not a good thing. So just a quick little update. I'll go on with this video. We'll show after we get the wings on, and give kind of an overview of what's going on there. But here we are, other wings back installed. Everything's setting up pretty nicely. This is my mod for the flaperons. I put a little reinforcement plate all the way around. Got them in. I still have to paint up everything. There's the way it looks on the other side, running primer and all. So I'll have to modify the covers that go on there to cover the rest of that control, because with the banana slot, you don't have that big arm on the inside, so we'll have to modify that cover. Well, as we're coming along, started to run control cables for rudder and flaperons and everything. So next thing is going to be other than just continuing with odds and ends here, is going to be starting on running the fuel system, because I want to get that installed. My initial plan was to install just the gascolator like Zenith originally proposed, and run my fuel lines down into back down into the bottom down here. I'm not sure I'm going to do that. I'm kind of leaning towards running them down these arms here and out to the firewall. I haven't decided yet. Here's my flap controls. I'm going to modify this yet more, which is why I haven't painted it up yet. I think where it hooks in back here, why I'm probably going to do the same thing I've done up front basically here, and put another rod end there and do the same thing on the back. Set it in between, it'll line up a little bit better, plus I think it's a little bit better system than the way that's run. Anyway, that's where we're at. So we do have you move the control stick and your ailerons will go up and down. I got the slotless flaperon brackets powder coated up yesterday and got them fitted up there. Now the steel brackets are permanently installed on the back of the flaperons. And today I got the little brackets for the jury struts powder coated up for both sides. Plus I got the crossbar a la John Austin for the seat belts, and this will get crow seat belts attached to it, and Dan will use those for seat belts. I'll have to make me a little drawing and take some measurements. I know Crow's done a pretty good job of getting dimensions for I think most of the Zenith now, but I don't know that they've done anything for a 701 with this crossbar conversion, so I'll get some drawings and everything. I'm working on the covers for the rods for the flaperons, and with this conversion, with the slotless flaperon conversion, why they won't fit on there. So that's the way the factory calls them to be when you've still got the banana slots, but they won't work. So what I think I'm going to do is notch that out where you can see I've got Sharpie pen on there and probably a little bit more. I'll leave the L angle on the side that we can see there, and it will actually slide underneath there's room underneath the flaperon brackets for it to slide underneath, I believe. So I'll slide them underneath and make sure I've got clearance, and then we're gonna create an access panel for that, so we've got access to the quick release right up here on the ends of them. And what I'll probably do is I think I'm gonna add a doubler behind there, or L angle behind there, something, probably a doubler on the part that's there around where we cut out, and I'm gonna install nut plates and then figure out an extension that comes out and covers the rest of that arm, and we'll install with nut plates some way, probably with screws from the outside maybe, or maybe we'll have L angle around there, or some sort of a contoured surface that's from inside, and then be able to put nut plates on the inside. I haven't decided exactly yet. We'll take it a little bit of the time, but the crossbar for the seat belts I'm very, very happy with. It was a bear getting it bolted in place, but it's permanently installed now, powder coated up. It'll never have to come out again as far as I know. So I'm really happy with that. So I did change the dimensions just a little bit. I know John had talked to engineering at Zenith about the size of that rod. I actually went down on size a little bit with the rod, but I increased the wall thickness. So I think we've got at least as much strength as we had from my eyeball engineering there. So anyway, we're making some progress. The next thing is going to be the rest of the controls. I've got cables run for the rudder at the back. I don't have all the fittings yet, so we've got cables with eyes, with thimbles swaged on there already, and we've got the cables with extra cable run up here to the front. I want to run the rest of the control cables for, let's see, we've got 2 more cables to go back, and I'm still fiddling around. I'm not gonna do the final fit on these covers for the flaperons yet, for those brackets, because I'm still playing with travel a little bit. I've got them a little bit out of whack, and I left everything long intentionally just so I had room to make final adjustments. Everything works real smooth. I'm real happy with the way they're operating. All right, well, I've been scheming again. This is, I think, my pattern for a windshield, and there's several reasons I'm looking at making my own that I'm not going to really get into. This is just a quick little overview. What I've done is making me a cardboard template. I started off with a paper template, went to a cardboard template, and the plan was originally to probably build a wooden buck for this, and form a windshield, and we're still going to have to form a windshield. But the reality is this is not a real complex shape. There's no real big compound curves on it or anything. I think if a person is careful, you could heat your, whether we do plexiglass or Lexan, and I think it can probably, as long as you get it to the right temperature and don't overheat it, I think this could be draped in place and have a really nice, well-formed windshield if you pre-trim your material first to proper dimension. So I'm still contemplating it, but that's my initial thoughts. So that's where we're at. Let me know what you think.